Hello, everyone. It's Mitchell again. I'm here on the SDG studio stage, and we have a very exciting project to talk about, a collaboration that we've had with the company CANON, the photography company. Just as a kind of a background, the challenge of doing this Sustainable Development Goals agenda is not just activating governments and NGOs and others who have traditionally been involved in development, but breaking beyond that and making sure that everyone understands that they have a role to play, whether they're a citizen or an organization or a government or a company, and you can actually have a very practical, tangible impact on this global agenda by making things very real and practical and local for people. So we've had some great experience here with with CANON participating in our Humans of My World series, which is a kind of an open, ongoing exploration of the humans behind the agenda. We have people all over the world doing this, but there's a really creative exercise where some great young people were given a challenge by CANON to go out and find these stories and relate them to this great agenda. And I'm very happy to introduce the team now to talk further about that. Then I'll talk a little bit at the end about some of the next steps we're going to take. So thank you. I'll hand right over to you. You got your own microphone? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Mitchell. So I'm Stuart Poore. I look after sustainability and also government affairs at CANON. Absolutely delighted to be here. It's fantastic, really enjoying the event. Great opportunity for us to talk about our Young People program, which we think is adding a lot of value, and it's good just to get into conversations about that. So I guess I should probably just start by saying a little bit about CANON, just in case you don't know who we are and what we do. So we are a digital imaging technology business. We're a Japanese company, but we have a regional presence in Europe, the Middle East and Africa, which is the region that I represent. And CANON's corporate philosophy is Kiyosai, which is a Japanese word that means living and working together for the common good. So that means we do everything we can to use our brand and our products to help people and the environment, both now and in the future. And I mention that because that's the context, really. It's the backdrop for why we're focusing on helping young people, giving them the opportunity to use visual storytelling to express their views on the need for change. So we have a series of projects and workshops up and running. We're working with local NGO partners around the EMEA region, and also our CANON Ambassador photographers, of which Ulla Lohmann is one. Hi, Ulla. And there's 5 key things, really, that we're promising to give to young people. These are the 5 objectives. We want to give them learning opportunities that they might not otherwise have. We want to help them address issues and challenges that really matter to them, to give them skills in visual storytelling, and helping them use imaging to deliver their message, which is something Ulla spoke very powerfully about yesterday. Giving them confidence to realize their potential, and then very, very practically some workshops which resonate very specifically with the SDGs. So we've been running this project working with young people for about 4 years, but it's only really been in the last year that we've zoned in on the issue of the SDGs and visual storytelling. And the key highlights have been particularly in countries around Europe: Italy, Poland, Finland, UK, and also Germany, where young people have really found their visual voice. And I'm absolutely delighted to welcome Janella and Court with us today from the program in Cologne last year, and they'll tell you a little bit more about their experiences, which will be fantastic. We want to sustain momentum, and in 2018 we'll be extending the program out to about 18 countries, so really scaling up geographically, and going into completely new places like South Africa and also Iraq, which is a project I'm particularly excited about. It's still very early days for us, though, and really, if I was to summarize what it's really about at this stage, it's about generating conversation. And ultimately getting to a point where we can amplify the voice of young people, particularly to those in policy making, the people making the really big decisions. So that's what we want to get to in the long run. And that's why we're here in events like this, particularly with a view also to reaching out to other organizations who might want to collaborate with us along the way. So if you're part of an organization that shares a similar goal to us, we'd love to talk to you. So I'm going to stop now because the guys to my right have got some much more interesting things to say, but I just want to reiterate it's fantastic to be here in such distinguished company, and I'm really looking forward to talking more about how we can work together to really make a difference. So thank you. Thank you, Mitchell.
Thank you.
Over to you.
Oh, I have the great honor to be here, not only as a CANON ambassador, but also as the teacher of these two talented young students, Janella and Court, because about 2 years ago I had the great pleasure to teach them, and now they have their images being displayed here, and they have their images in the book. So their work has been taken much further, and you have worked so hard on it. So you participated to the CANON Young People program. So what did you take away? What did you learn from it?
I learned in this program how important these goals are, and how important the communication with the people behind these goals and the people who suffer, how important this communication is and how we can help them, and that's what I enjoyed.
What about you, Janella?
Well, first off, I learned how to control a camera and do great photos. And secondly, I was able to immerse myself into these problems we have and we face. And I was not aware of these, and with this program, and I had the opportunity to really embrace these problems, because in the end of all, these are our problems. We will face them in the future, and it's our future that we have to make a better place of the world. So I tried to do so.
You achieved very well. And Cordt, you have your picture being shown here, over there. It's the third or the second one from the left. How do you feel about having your picture shown at the UN climate conference, at the festival here?
It feels amazing to have my pictures here and to know that so many people see it and hopefully think about it and understand what I try to express with it, and it feels amazing.
So is there any advice you can take away from this learning experience? Is there any advice you can give to other young people?
I would say that people in my age should care a lot more about the world and these goals, because it's our future, how she said, and just do it and do things like that, because it's working and it is fun and it helps.
Yeah. Like you said, just do it. You could just step outside, because all of these stories are outside. You just have to see them. You can ask anyone next to you. You have a story. Everyone has a story. And with those pictures, you can capture their story. They are there. They exist. Find them.
And definitely, please, you have to listen to these two people, to Janella and to Cordt, because they have done it. They don't only dream it, they are doing what they think about. So thank you very, very much, and please continue. We look all forward to see more of your work in the future.
Thank you for teaching.
Well, about me, sorry, do you want to say anything? Yeah. Well, I kind of wanted to quickly share some stories with you about the power of images, because when I was about your age, about a bit older, I had my final exam in my pocket, I was standing at an active volcano realizing my dream. I saved up all my money, I took half a year of school, I went to the volcano. And then 20 years later, this actually became my work. I realized my dreams through storytelling. And I was asked to put a little presentation together for here, so I thought, I see what I was doing in my life with my pictures, what I could actually do with them without even realizing that the pictures have this power to do. So this is one of my favorite pictures in Papua New Guinea, and actually it helped to raise a lot of money, because they have a lot of problems there with acid water. So we were making studies on how to improve the water quality, and we gave to 3 different communities clean water back again, just by creating a way of them having clean drinking water. I photographed for the BBC. I was able to go to Papua New Guinea and to work with over 40 scientists to discover new species in that area. We found new species, and now this area, Mount Bosavi in Papua New Guinea, is protected as a World Heritage Protection Zone. So one picture can actually do a lot of things. With this one, we motivated one person who's 65 years old. He has never climbed anything higher than a step ladder in his whole life. He would probably be afraid going on one of these things. He was motivated through seeing one image about climbing a sea stack in Australia, and he raised over $12,000 for breast cancer awareness just by seeing an image of mine. And this is probably one of my most personal stories. I worked over 10 years with a tribe who actually mummifies the dead. And I became adopted by the tribal elder. And throughout these 10 years of work, I just founded a lot of schools. Over there in that area, we had a lot of money because people were touched through my stories. So we created some work, so people also profit from us going to these areas. We brought in some people who are also enthusiastic about sharing their lives. So some ecotourism came in. We funded 3 schools. So it's just like, without even thinking, with one picture you can do a lot of many new things. We're going to climb every European country's highest summit, 47 countries, 47 summits in 470 days to raise awareness for global warming. So this is just little things you do as a storyteller, but it's amazing how much one little story can actually move things. So I would love to encourage all of you to go out there, no matter what age you are, and make sure that you have an appealing story to tell, because they can really change things. So please go out there, realize your dreams, and as you said, like, don't dream it, do it. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you all. Thanks to CANON for this wonderful opportunity. I think that it's a clear example of the 3 factors coming together: the clarity of the goals, the clarity of the people's choice, the opportunities that the commercial providers can give to make sure that the equipment and the technicalities and everything are there, but also the motivation. But then also the pure human instinct to find stories and connect with others, that when those come together, the magic happens. I have an anecdote about one of your pictures. I was giving the government officials from Germany a tour of the floor, and when we looked at the photographs, the one that they were most interested in was the brothers in Germany. Was that one of yours? I think, or was it Poland? Which one did you do specifically? Yes, the family, yes. So we were looking at all of the family, the pictures from Germany, and the government officials were actually saying, well, yes, this is very interesting to me, because these are voices we don't often hear in government, so this is a very profound message. And many of the pictures that we see in our galleries and the stories behind them become anecdotes that government officials use in their speeches, because it's always very impactful for them to talk about a singular story or a singular image that they've seen to represent what could otherwise be a very abstract and difficult to communicate issue. So I totally agree, and we're very thankful for all of the creative work that's been done by CANON. We open this process and we're going to follow it into these new markets that they're going into, and we hope to encourage all those who are working on the SDGs around the world to join into this kind of exercise. And while this is a wonderful exercise happening in many, many different places, we ask everyone around the world to consider what is your creativity and what can you do to use the creativity that's inside you to make these messages come through clearly. And sometimes all it takes is showing the picture to one person, a person who can make a difference, and then you change the world. So thank you again for everyone, and we look forward to working in the future with CANON. Thank you very much.